Hey guys, I just played a game that had some particularly interesting parts. Uh, I'm recording it because it fits a certain student real well. But I thought instead of just sending it to him, I think others might get something out of it. So let's have a look. One thing that stands out in this game is I purposely chose imperfect paths. Okay, black plays a move that suggests a particularly large corner. And just so we all understand each other, if this is size 1 of the corner, this looks like it could be bigger. That's all I'm saying. I guess it's obvious. So, suggesting a big corner. It is by all means too early to come in now because once I live, let's just play it out. Once I live in the corner, black's wall is locally at least as big as white's corner, bigger for sure. But considering the handicap stones, it's way in black's favor. Okay, so it's too early to come into the corner. So the answer is to continue the game at some point coming up to the top in some fashion so that when I do come in, his wall is already negated. That would be the way to play it. But I went ahead and came in. Okay. Boom, boom. He plays down. Well, first thing, if I can Hane, I should. The Hane, as always, does more work. So we have to do some reading. Okay, we did that. I can Hane. Great. And of course, we're expecting black to come on up. And in my head, I'm going, okay, can I double Hane? What am I going to do next? I'm starting to think, but he plays here. Okay. Now, something Q players tend to do. I want to save A, I want to save B. That's a problem. We need to realize that B is my group. A is just a helping stone. It helps us settle B. Free move. And now the question, do we press again? Well, first, if we press and he does nothing, we see our stones are touching. It becomes a burden to him. I'm not talking about if he dies or not. It's clearly black does not like this. This is hard for black. Similarly, if we do nothing, black comes up. It's not like I can Hane. This is very powerful. So it's a double power place. Let's put it that way. I just made up that term, double power place. And he defends. Great. Then a pattern, if you can get used to this, it's clear black just finished. He is now good. When you get to I'm okay, you're okay, that's when you play away. You Q players, you stay here and bleed it dry. You're just not going to get anywhere if you do that. So black's fine. No need to start this kind of thing. So we have to ask, how's white? Now, there's a little rule to help us figure that out. Once you know the rules and you get used to them, you can start using intuition. So my intuition said, oh, I've got air out this way. Look at all this air, wide open air I can breathe. So I didn't use a tool. I used, I can breathe so easily. And, his A-stone is so much weaker than me. How can it possibly attack me? And, look at all the eye space I have. So this is, 1 second, and the intuition says lots of room. Okay. But let's also remember the tool. And the tool is, if you have 3 options for health, then you're healthy. It is, if you have 2, okay, hon, have a good walk. Wife's heading out to walk the dog, best dog in the world. If you only have 2 options for health and he takes one away, you only have one path and he's in control. Says you need to move to the right, you need to move to the left, and he can play anywhere he wants, guiding you, and he's in charge, getting the points he wants. If you have 3 options, he takes one away, says you better go to the right. I can go to the right or the left. You can't control me because you only, right. So it's more freedom. So it's a rule that helps us. It's not anything absolute. So rules. I can go in direction 1, run out to the center, clear and easy. Direction 2 is suspect because that's cut. Okay, we can't trust that one. Options include running, outright life, right? If you can live in one move, like his A group can live in one move. Just come down, capture the stone, he's alive. That would be an option for health. Okay. So running, living in one move, or something like that. And the third one is he's weak. So for instance, in this case, if you compare A and B, holy cow, we can hassle A like you can't believe. So he's weak, that's an option. So option 1, option 2, and I took option 3 as kind of sort of like that, like running, I can run to the side, which isn't entirely true because he can stop that in Sente. So this is actually the situation. So can I live in one move? No. So I would say I have 2 or 2.5 options. So in a serious game, I might stay here. But intuition says, oh, there's just so much room. So I went with that. Okay, back to the game. I play away. And I do that because of the pattern. Play at A and settle, play in B at settle, go to a 3-3. And then the game starts. You remember all this. Great. Next one, he plays here. This time I'm thinking, okay, I'll behave myself. I'll negate his wall first. More appropriate. He comes in. Now, if I come in the corner, he gets the big A wall, and he's ready to attack the B stone with his wall and pinching the C pinch stone. And I'm like, well, I've got the BD sitting there. Can I survive in that area comfortably? I'm thinking, yeah. Okay, so I come in. I'm expecting black and then I have Sente, and I'd probably play here. My 3 stones on the bottom are light. They're hard to surround all that and kill all that. And besides, he has a cut coming up. Just like he's actually to play this. And from there, I do some sort of defense. That would be the normal pattern. Still, it's good for black. Here, white's weak. Black's got a lot of stones. Anyway. But he plays this way. Okay, come on out, come on out, come on out. And then we ask, am I alive? I decided yes. So I settle. This is not a great idea. I'm playing near thickness. And there's some worse than that coming up. This is not a great idea. Is black weak? Well, if you squint and say, well, I have a group at A, I have a group at B, he's behind enemy lines. Give me a break. That's beyond fantasy. Yes, he's a stick. Let's accentuate that. Yeah, he's a stick. It's just too hard to believe that this would be any sort of serious attack. Just so much room, white so thin, white so weak. So this is not a great move. I'm just in a bad position here. I should probably start. It would seem to me if I'm going to say that A is my group because my group is so undefined, I'll just say something around A is my group. Where's the defense? Life is hard, so perhaps this direction is my defense. If I go in this direction, I'm hitting black. If I go in this direction, I'm hitting black. So perhaps the correct move is to get out. Something like this. Okay, but I play here. Black comes down. Okay. This is where I wanted to start sharing the game. The other stuff we've seen is just me rambling. Okay, look at the A group. Not alive in the midst of a bunch of black stones. Dangerous. Don't do this. Once we do the black-white exchange, in my mind, I might have to give that group up. All these groups, I'm like, no, these are all pitiful. If he plays it all reasonably, something's going to die. So I need to be in a position to give it up. Okay. So you see, it's this attitude is why I wanted to share the game. What do you do when you have weak groups? Well, I walked into it with my eyes open. I said, I want weak groups. It's a stupid thing to want. But I'm just throwing stones down, and it creates really interesting things where interesting questions arise. Okay. He turns. Okay, I'm about to die, live. Now, here's where we get part 2 of why my A group isn't great, or more specifically, why the A stone wasn't great. It's because black can outplay here successfully. And his A stone was Sente, and I knew that. I know he gets A in Sente, therefore he can play B anytime he wants. Wow, I have nothing. If he were to do that, probably white, black, white. And what? Black, white, black. I mean, what a pitiful white group. Gosh. Okay. He plays here. That's his Sente. Or it's actually not his Sente. If he was to capture the stones, it's in Gote. Uh, but I really, really need to use his weakness, and A's a weakness. So I save, and if we see A and B as separate, they both seem awkward to me. Way better than white, but it's something to work with. So I wanted to save them for the cut having meaning. Place here, okay. Let's add a stone for black. Let's put it here. White passed somewhere. Now I'm not going to play here anymore. What's the A stone for? It's nothing. So now I'll either go this way. Getting a base. Hey, it's working for me. Or, that's all tough. I'll just focus on the one stone that has some hope of health. Okay. But he's weak. So when he plays there's a reason to play this. So what we're seeing in this game is starting to see the purpose of stones, why one would do something, and how to handle weak groups, which is coming up. Okay. Black plays here, pretty funny. Now, we know this black move. Holy cow, he's connected. I mean, game over. My 3 stones can do nothing. Okay, so I remove that. For the first time in the game, I'm starting to see the A group as an actual target. Not a fantasy, but an actual target. Okay, he splits. I think the A stone is useful, and I'm not thinking this is such a great move. So come on down, making these 2 stones useful, making black a little bit weak. Then come out. Okay, but coming out is specific. Let's talk about it. I want the cut. So I am not going to peep. This must sound duh, but this is the sort of thing Q players are just throwing stones down. Oh, but no, he has to respond. And like, wait a minute. I don't want him to respond there. So I'm looking for a move like this. The only problem is this is a pitifully small move with almost no future and doesn't threaten to cut or anything. So at least when I jump, I'm doing something fast, which starts to affect the cut. He ignores. Okay, now I don't oh, okay. I want to cut. What happens? Tie, tie, boom. I'm about to die. Tie, connect. I'm not prepared to cut. So I get some strength. So I'm not prepared to fight. I start getting prepared. He comes down. Oh, this group getting weak. I get out. He defends the top, which is not necessary, which gives me a free move. Now, if this was a serious game, I would play the same move I did. But I have a weak board position. So I cut. I would say very locally, do I have the right? It's a hard question to ask. The idea of, oh, let me save this, and then I'll save this group, and now I'm ready to start the game. My groups are finally safe. That's what you want to do. That's how to play Go. Get your group safe, then start fighting. Well, that's not going to work. I put myself in a position, so I'm forced to fight from weakness. I've prepared some, but the point is I'm going to have to be sacrificing things. That's the point. Okay. Sorry. Out. Now I had to read this, right? There's some reading involved. Can he kill my cutting stones? No, he can't. Okay, what's he do? Here. Okay, I have time to Atari once. I figure if I save, I can't kill anything. What can I do? Here, he just runs out. Nothing. I have nothing. So I have to sacrifice the bottom. I come out. If he captures, oh, I think very possibly I have got more than he did. On top of which, his A group still has no eyes. Looks like a Seki coming, actually. I mean, in case no one's quite getting it, let's surround. Just putting it, let's just put it real briefly here. Get things in position. We see his A group is surrounded and my B group surrounded. This will probably end in Seki. The point is, even though my A stones are dead, they still can come back to life. So this move, B, is like obvious must be done. Yes, he can kill me, my A group. He defends, gives me time to defend. Tari, Q players, try to think what you're doing. What's the value of the A stone? Near zero. Don't just go around saving stones. Get strong in Sente. Surround black. Surround. Okay. This is a surrounding move, a net. Do I think I can surround him? How do you say it? If I can surround him, I'll be full of cuts and that it can't succeed. There you go. I might surround him, but not in a successful fashion. Then why are you doing it? Because my A group isn't finished. I want to connect home to B. My C group isn't finished. I want to what? Connect to D, get out, something. All my groups need help. The false net will do it. Whatever he does, he went this way. My A group just got helped. It got a free jump. My A group just jumped to B. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump out. Okay, now what? Now the focus is the A group, right? Once, boom, I'm connected or virtually connected to A. Not exactly. For instance, he could play here and cut. True, but give me a break. This is not, yeah. So really close to a connection. Very strong move. Tari. I am not cut here, so I can save. Okay, which is better than capturing thicker on the outside. Tari. Okay, I have some thinking to do. My first thought, I need to save and get my group out to safety. That's the main idea. I started thinking, if I save, my A group has a lot of getting out room, and his B group, I'm seeing a Seki coming. Did I read it all out? Of course not. I assumed I was going to give up the 2 stones to get my group out. I realized, no, there's a lot here. So save, capture, cut, Seki. Tari, save. And I looked as, do I need to play Ko? No, yeah, he's going to win all Ko fights. Down. Okay. It's the A-B. That's what's going on here. A versus B. If one of us has an I, not Seki anymore. The I wins. This gains me liberties, takes up his liberties, and threatens the I. I have an I, not Seki. Boom, get out. Here, take the I. This threatens to take away the I. Tari, not an I anymore. So keep the I. Okay. Now I know the principle. One I know why. The I wins. Maniri Minashi. But still, I wanted to read it out basically because this cut is so interesting. So I'm just my process, not your process. This is the way I do it. If I do nothing and he surrounds and I start in, he continues. Boom. He can't say Atari because I capture him. Okay. So I don't need to respond. As a matter of fact, I have time to play this. So a little bit of reading there. I'm about to lose a liberty. As a matter of fact, looking at it now, let's read it through. I think I see something maybe black could catch me. If he atars from this side, well, first thing I would have done is read it out again. And worst case, no, I still win. But if I save and he starts in, white captures, black's about to say Atari, I fill in, he can't say Atari. Okay, so I can play here and I can save. That's huge. Now he's got a bunch of cuts. Even if none of them work, it's Aji for later. This has been coming up a lot recently, this idea of Aji. For stronger players, this term is massive term. Aji is trying to find a way to describe size. What do Q players think is a big? What do they think of as big? Moyo. Ooh, I wish I had a Moyo. Moyo is big. For strong player, Aji, I think I'll choose the Aji over a Moyo. Aji is so meaningful. There's a well-known Joseki. Let me get there just a second. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Very well-known Joseki. And boom, boom. These three white stones, there's a lot of Aji there. Strong players tend to prefer the white stones because of the Aji. Oh, black has such a big moyo. Look at the moyo on top. No problem. Absolutely free move. I'm going to rip off the whole corner. Well, I can't let you do that. Great. I got 2 moves in a row. I've completely ripped off the whole area. You cannot take that area anymore. Aji's a really big deal. So Atari, he says Atari, which allows me to play here, and he resigns. So I left weak groups behind. And even against, this guy's like a 6Q. Still, even a 6Q, my groups are dying. He's killing my groups. Well, I'm like, yeah, sorry, okay, he killed me, but I'll give it up and get something else. So I used it, but we want to be in a position where we have strong groups. And this game showed more about weak groups and how you have to be willing to give them up. And I thought there's some good stuff. Okay, guys, hope it helped someone. Catch y'all later. Bye.